Hi, friends. I'm going to do a lesson for social studies with you for this week. This is going to be kind of long because I have a few stories I want to read to you for this lesson. So if you want to get comfy, maybe get a snack and something to drink, I want you to be able to sit and listen. Please do not fast forward through this. Please, please, please watch this with me and listen and learn and hear these stories because this is really something that I think is really important and really special. All right. So some of you don't know yet, but Monday, there's no school. We don't have school Monday. We're going to have a short week next week because Monday's a holiday. Monday is a special day where we celebrate and remember a very important person in our country named Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'm going to be teaching you about him today. And then also next week, we're going to do some activities and we're going to talk about him and his dream that our country would become kind and that we would treat people with respect and with equality. And we're going to learn what those kind of things mean. So first, I want to tell you a little bit about Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So here's a picture of him. That's Martin Luther King Jr. And he is not alive anymore. He lived several years ago, okay? So we remember him, and that's why we have a special day. A lot of times when we have a holiday to remember people that were influential in our country, they're no longer alive or with us, but we remember what they stood for, and we remember all they did, okay? So I'm going to read this book to you, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it, and then I have a couple more books, okay? We celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day every year. This holiday is in January. Oh, wrong. Look, there's our January calendar, okay? And it's on a Monday in January. It's the 21st, okay? So the third Monday of January every year is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And the thing that's so cool about this is his birthday is January 15th. And that third Monday always falls somewhere kind of around where his birthday is. And his birthday is a great time to remember all that he did for us. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted to make the world a better place. He saw that Black people were treated unfairly. Unfairly means they were treated differently just because they looked different. Kids dreamed that people of all colors would work together. He tried to change laws in a peaceful way. So there's friends that are marching, they're peacefully protesting to make a change. Some people didn't like what the king was trying to do, what King was trying to do. In 1968, King was shot and he died. Okay, that was quite a long time ago. We're talking almost 60 years ago. But some of your grandmas and grandpas might have been alive when Dr. King was alive. So maybe you could ask your grandma and grandpa if they remember or if their parents told them anything about this time and what was happening. People wanted to honor King after he died. In 1986, we celebrated the first Martin Luther King Jr. Day. On this holiday, we learn about his life and we learn about his dream. People go to parades, choirs sing. On Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we remember King's dream. We try to make the world a better place. So let's talk about some words, okay? We have the word celebrate. Celebrate means to have a party or a special activity to honor the special occasion, okay? Well, one way we celebrate is we take off of school and off of work so we can join in parades or we can join in things happening around the country to remember him. Honor is to show respect for. We honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and what he did for our country. Laws are rules that people agree to share. Kind of like our classroom, we have rules. Well, Laws are rules for the country, okay? Peaceful means that we do it without fighting and without being mean. Peaceful means you are kind and you are gentle. Unfairly means that not everyone was treated in the same way. So before we read our next book about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I want to explain to you a little bit about what was happening when Martin Luther King Jr. was a boy. So in the United States, when Martin Luther King Jr. was a boy, people were treated differently based on what color their skin was. So people who had white skin, like I have white skin, got nice things. They were treated nice. They were treated with respect. Kids that had white skin got to go to the better schools. They had better playgrounds. They had nicer bathrooms. They had everything that they needed and they wanted, and people treated them kindly. People that had black skin or brown skin were not treated that way. They were treated with hate. People were mean to them just because they looked different. They weren't allowed to go to the same schools as their friends who had white skin. They didn't have good playgrounds. Stuff was broken. They had dirty things. They didn't get anything nice. People did not think they were good. They did not like them. And the only reason people felt that way is because their skin color was different. Now, how do you think you would feel if someone was mean to you just because your skin was a different color? Yeah, you might feel really sad, really bad, maybe even mad and angry because you don't deserve to be treated like that. Today, we all get to be in class together. We have friends who have white skin and tan skin and brown skin and black skin, and we have friends who look different and are from all over the world. Okay, we have friends who are from all over the United States. We have Native Americans. We have friends from Mexico. We even have friends at our school, some older ones from Europe. So now in the United States, we get to all go to school together, no matter what we look like. We get to all be friends together. We get to all have the same things together. And that's because Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for people to be treated fairly, for people to be treated the same. Okay, he did not want people to be treated differently anymore just because of what you look like. That's wrong. So next week, we're going to talk about that a little bit, and we're going to do an experiment, and we're going to see how inside we all have the same body parts. We all have hearts. We all have ears. We have noses. We have eyes. We have a mouth. We have hands. Okay, we all have lungs to breathe air. We have hair. Some of us might have more hair than others. And those are all things that we share. Our body has certain things. We have bones inside of our body. All of us have bones. But on the outside, we look different. I have hazel eyes, which are kind of brown and green. You might have blue eyes. I have brown hair. You might have blonde, yellow hair, or maybe your hair is black. I think, a kind of big nose. Maybe you have a little nose. Maybe you have a nose that's bigger. Okay, I am short. Mr. Fontenot is tall. We all look different on the outside, but we're all still people. We're all still humans. And so we all deserve to be treated the same way, with respect and with kindness. So go ahead and take a minute if you want to pause the video and stretch. We're going to read a book about Dr. King's life, and then I'm going to share with you his I Have a Dream book and give you an assignment, okay? So if you need to pause and stretch and come back, go ahead and do that. And I'm going to pause my video while I get the book ready to go. All right, welcome back. If you took a little break, we're going to read a book about Martin Luther King Jr.'s life, from him being a child growing up into an adult. Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. There's him with his mom and dad. He lived with his parents. He had an older sister and a younger brother. Maybe you have a sibling like a brother or a sister. Martin's father was a minister. Martin grew up listening to his father speak in church. The people at church liked the way Martin's father spoke. They sang and clapped. So he worked in the church, his dad did. Martin knew the people in church. He lived near them and he went to school with them. He saw them on the streets in his neighborhood, just like we see our friends and people we know around the neighborhood. Sometimes Martin went to the city with his family. He saw signs that said whites only. That means people with white skin only, at the park and at the movies. He couldn't go to the movie theater. He couldn't go to the park. They said that they weren't allowed because their skin was black. How do you think Martin felt? How would you feel if you weren't allowed to go to those places where you saw other friends going? Yeah, really, really sad and bad about yourself. The signs meant that Martin and his family could not go to those places. Martin felt that Black people should be able to go to the same places that white people. When he was 6, he had a friend who was white. They liked each other and they played together. But soon the boy's parents said they did not want their son to play with him any longer, and Martin felt very bad. He was sad that he lost his friend. That day, Martin's mother told him, "You're as good as anyone else, and don't you forget it." Martin felt better. He knew that the boy's parents did not really know him. If they had, they would have seen how nice and smart he was. When he was 8, he worked as a newspaper boy. He was very good at his job. Martin used the money he earned to buy books. He read about people who fought racism. Racism is what was happening where you're treated differently because of what you look like and what color your skin is. Racism is the idea that people who are different colors are not equal. Martin thought that all people were equal and he wanted to fight racism too. And he's right, people are all equal. Remember, I told you we're all humans. We all have the same stuff inside our bodies. We just look different on the outside, but we're still all people and we all deserve kindness and respect. And Martin knew that. Martin became a minister like his father when he grew up. He gave speeches and he talked about equality. He traveled to speak to church groups and to large crowds. He spoke to a crowd of 250,000 people in Washington, D.C. He spoke about his dream for the future. "I have a dream," Martin said, "that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." That means they'll be judged by who they are, how they act, how they treat others, not what they look like. Some people did not like what he was saying. Most people, though, did, and Martin helped to change the way people thought and acted toward one another. Today, many people remember his dream and try to make the world a better place for everyone. So it's because of Martin Luther King Jr. and some other historical figures we're going to learn about in February that we're able to treat each other with equality in our country, that we're able to go to the same school, that now everyone can go to the movies, everyone can go to the park. It doesn't matter what you look like or what color your skin is, we can all now go to places together. And it's because he helped stop racism and he helped us to learn to treat each other equally. Now, we still have some problems in our country with this. Sometimes people are still mean to others because of what they look like. So it's really important that we learn to stand up for those people and to treat and show people kindness. Because when we do that, then other people see us doing that and they'll want to be kind too. So that's why it's so important in kindergarten that we learn about being a good friend and being kind to one another, because we want to keep Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream alive. We want to continue to treat people equal because we all deserve to be treated the same, okay? So I have one more story and then we'll be done. If you need to stretch again, pause the video and stretch. This one is called "I Have a Dream." This is his dream speech, and he talks about what his dream is for the country and for the world. And I want you to really pay attention because you're going to be doing an activity where you're going to be sharing what your dream is for our world. I say to you today, my friends, that even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It's a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. He wants them to be brothers, which means to be friends. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and little white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain and the crooked places will be made straight. This is our hope. There's him talking to all the people. This is the faith that I go back to the south with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to struggle together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that one day we will all be free. This will be the day when all of the children will be able to sing with new meaning. And America is going to be a great nation. This must come true if we want to be a great nation. So let freedom ring from the hilltops of New Hampshire, from the mighty mountains of New York, from Pennsylvania, and from the Rockies of Colorado. From the slopes in California, and the Stone Mountain of Georgia, and the Lookout Mountain of Tennessee, and the Molehill of Mississippi. He's naming a bunch of states in the United States of America. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when this happens, we will all allow freedom to ring. When we let it ring from every village, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of the children, black men and white men, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of an old spiritual song. Free at last, free at last. We are free at last. The end. All right, like I said, we'll talk more about this next week. I want you to think about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., talk to your family about him and about what they know about him and what he did to help our country so that we can all be friends together. I want you to take some time, and in your learning kit, you have a sheet that has a cloud on it, and it says, "My dream is." I want you to write what your dream is for this world. What do you hope to happen to make this world a better place? Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream was that we would all be treated with kindness and respect. So what is your dream? Okay, I want you to think about what you want for the world, what you want for your friends and for your family. And I want you to write that and to draw a picture of it in the cloud up there, okay? And then I need you to have someone in your family send me a picture of it because we're going to make a class book, okay? So I need everyone to do this, and I need everyone to send me a picture of it. Then I just want you to color these pictures and talk about these vocabulary words with someone in your family. We have peace, we have friendship, we have love, we have equality, and we have a speech because he gave a speech. That was his dream speech. All right, I'm going to share a couple of videos with you that I'd like you to watch, and you can work on your 2 assignments. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to our first part of learning all about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Remember, no school Monday, okay? So I will see you on Tuesday. Have a great time learning, friends. I'm so proud of you. Keep it up. And remember, be kind to everyone, no matter what they look like on the outside.